Welcome back, New Jersey wrestling fans, to On the Mat, the weekly Facebook Live show that talks about everything that's going on in the Garden State in wrestling gyms across the state, and now we're getting ready for regions. So be sure to join us right after this. Welcome back, wrestling fans. This is the best time of the year. Mark Trible of the Courier Post here with Brett Fetty and Ralph Ross Jr. Guys, you all ready for regions?
Ready as water?
We're getting there.
We're getting there?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Well, let's get there. First, let's take a look back at districts here. And, I mean, obviously, it's a new change we had 2 years ago. This is the second time around. Brett, what stood out to you about this past weekend?
I think there's a lot of parity is what they wanted, so I think parity is what they got. You may have had, for average per weight class, per weight classes, maybe 4 good matches, and the other 10 were pretty predictable. A couple good matches per district, but not like it used to be. And I think what happens is there's rivalries that you broke up. You know, you're trying to create new rivalries. That doesn't happen overnight, so you're probably going to get gyms that don't have as many people as they usually would. So, I mean, it's going to take a couple years to get used to, but this is what we have, so we gotta live with it.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to stick with it. Ralph, you were out at one of the districts.
Yeah, I went to Kingsway District where it was Kingsway Woods. It was good wrestling. It was actually a really tough district. Some weight classes were not as tough as others, but it was good. It was a tough district. They had a lot of tough wrestlers, but it was the district where I was at actually did have a little bit of a rivalry. I mean, everyone there hated Southern because Southern was the best team there, and they ran away with it. When Southern kids got beat, Wolf beat O'Connell in overtime, the place went nuts. So when your kid gets beat and every other team cheers, you know you're doing a good job.
And you know you're right.
Yeah. I mean, Southern carried that, wore that black hat well. They went in there. They didn't have any relationship with any of the teams. They didn't care. They went in, took the trophy and left, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah. And a Friday before that, they wrestled in the dual meet, which made there's some good animosity.
Yeah, Kingsway and Southern saw each other 2 weeks in a row, one individual, one as a team. Ralph, you've coached in a number of these districts where there was a team that did wear the black hat, and your dad did as well at Highland. What's the different dynamic now compared to then?
I don't think everything. The dynamics now compared to then is not even close because there's as I said, everyone was hating Southern and everything, but there's kids that wrestle in clubs together and they're friends. They go away together. There was way too much hugging for me.
Half of those kids probably wrestle each other at Seagulls every day.
And they wrestle, and then afterwards they're done. They're hugging, and I'm not a big fan of the hugging. And there was no hugging for Southern, and there was no hugging, for guys that wrestled for my dad and guys who wrestled me at Washington Township, West Deptford. Hugging was outlawed. No hugging. We had shirts.
The thing is, Jewel Dolce, who's Northern Burlington's coach, told me that when they would wrestle Rancocas Valley every year, that rivalry, and you wrestle in districts, you wrestle in regions, you wrestle in states sometimes, those guys personally didn't like each other. And that disdain grew over the years when you knew you were going to have a kid in the same weight class, or it's a kid who beat you in the past. How much different is it when you're going up against kids who really just don't have that history with them? Or if you do, like he said, you're friends, you wrestle the clubs.
Well, sometimes we would hear, I wrestle with club, I can beat him, I can't beat him. It's a false sense. So you may not be getting the best match possible because without animosity, that just builds up a good match, and you're going to get probably the opponent's best match. Now it's kind of like, okay, hey, I know this kid, I wrestled him here and there. It's just, not the fun's taken out of it, but I think part of it is, and it's people go out to be entertained, they go out to watch their kids, but it's kind of like, okay, we're here, I think we have 3 or 4 kids, we'll see who makes it. And we'll shake each other and hug shake each other's hands and hug each other after the matches.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I was at District 25. Camden Catholic obviously is a team that, a lot of people around the way, they kind of where the people like to root against the Irish. They dominated the entire tournament basically, but there was a little bit of balance. You had Joe Manchio, Seneca, Cherokee, Colin Wickromana got a championship. Camden Catholic put a bunch of kids in the finals. But the way that
did they hug anyone?
No, there was no hugging. But the way that they dominate these things, they put those 2 power teams in each district, okay? And beyond that, it kind of filters down. The rest is really interchangeable. Those power teams end up sending all their kids. Bergen Catholic's their own category, but Howe, Paulsboro, Kim Catholic, they send 12 kids to regions. What's the big deal?
It's just make weight.
Yeah.
They got to make weight. That's
Yeah.
all for make weight. Go to regions.
Yeah, they try and make the parity because I guess they did some kind of point system with Region 7. They switched it around. And I just, even going to the districts this year or regions last year, I just remember like Paulsboro, kids would lose and they, or high them back in the day. It's just not there anymore. And I know that they're saying for the betterment of wrestling and stuff like that. I just don't see it. Like, I just wish they would leave everything alone like it was. There'll be listen. There's going to be times where there's districts and kids are not going to make it to regions. 106 at the one-weight class where the Audubon kid didn't get
30 and 1.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid's 31. That happens. It's sorry. You know what I mean? There's been
1.
times when I was coaching. I coached Jimmy Rollins and Mercado and Smith from Paulsboro were in there. Someone's not going. Tough. Eventually it'll work for you. There's kids that are going that wouldn't make it out of other districts. It'll just work itself out. Just stay in the same district where you go down to Region 8, and then you might have some, Region 8 kids bonding together in the states. They're in the same locker room, and they know, and maybe they're rooting, they work out together. But it's not even South Jersey versus North Jersey anymore.
You were at the, District 29, right? It was. So you got Cedar Creek and Ocean City. Maybe they can create a rivalry.
No rivalry there.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But the problem was they had Region 1, Region 4, Region 6, and Region 8 were so much more powerful when you went to, because they took a look at PowerPoint history, state top 10 ranking, finishing the groups, and how many state place winners. And they took a look at all those numbers and tried to disperse them, which, hey, they got what they wanted. They got parity. So now, regions, you're going to have some good matches, but like the rivalry, because I know Region 8 took West Everett, took Paulsboro out, put them in Region 7. So I know a lot of people aren't happy with that. They have to travel all the way to Toms River to watch kids that they don't really know. And it's just like, hey, we're here. Paulsboro's there, probably going to have, a bunch of champs. And then, I don't know, but the rivalry thing is just what kind of hurts it.
I mean, if you go to Paulsboro, when we were at West Effort, Brett and I, Paulsboro had that district at Gloucester County College. It was all Gloucester County schools. They came in, they sat in the same seats. It was the same people. Yeah. They booed us. They cheered the team. The Paulsboro dominated, but we were always get up. You got a Paulsboro kid, and it's just good. And it just died. It just died. I don't know who's in Paulsboro's district, but they have Gloucester County.
Donovan Catholic.
I don't think there's any other. Yeah, I'm sure the Donovan Catholic coach is getting booed by the Paulsboro faithful, but it's just not happening. They're going to try and fix it. Again, it's another mistake.
That's the thing. I mean, maybe because we were spoiled. Like I grew up in wrestling District 29, went watching ever since I was a little kid, coached in it, and then it's gone.
Right.
And that was like, you look back at those weight classes there, and you go into regions sometimes, and some of the other districts, which I'm not disparaging, just did not have the same opponents. And you'd see a lot of repeat 1, 2, 3 from District 29 be 1, 2, 3 in the region.
Right.
Ralph, in all your years of coaching, which year were you part of the best district that you've seen?
Cool, man. We were when good districts followed us. One year we were there. There was
2000.
Yeah, Firestone was state champ. Van Brill was a finalist. Atkinson was a third. Duca was a finalist. Menino's. I mean, that was a pretty loaded district. But then when we were at Washington Township, we had Price won states, Corcoran won states, Jones won states, Burroughs won states. We had Stanley from Timber Creek. They had Pfeiffer from Overbrook.
Mark
I mean,
Pfeiffer,
it was a loaded district. So I would have to say, team-wise, probably the year we were at when we were in Paulsboro's district, and they had Clearview was a stud, Paulsboro was a stud. But individual-wise, we had an unprecedented amount. But I could tell you, there's no districts like that except Bergen Catholics, who provides all the time. And back then, even like St. Joe's was in the district, and they knew their place, and they were upset, and it just was. I don't know. It's like taking the NFL and letting some XFL teams come in and putting the conferences up.
Yeah.
Just to fill out a weight class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it does get better. Regions are on the horizon, and we'll see what happens this weekend. So hopefully you're going to get some better kids matching up. Because I was looking at some of the brackets too. Even that, the power regions are gone. Yeah. So now it's spread out. But I think it's a little different in South Jersey because you just displace 2 teams.
Right.
You put Paulsboro, West Everett up in Region 7. And now Region 7 had a couple teams leave. I know like Wallnell's in Region 5.
Right.
Well, Region 6 before was the ultimate region for a while because they were all the short conference teams that had when Long Branch was on their game, with Brick Memorial, with Jackson, with Hal. And
Region 7 was, Region 8 was, I thought, more powerful, but they can't take West Effort and Paulsboro and take them out of Region 8. They're Gloucester against well. But Region 7 had Cameron Catholic. Eastern always had studs. They were a good team. And then you had the kid, Cray.
They started getting better. Region 7 started catching up.
And they just, they suck the life out of it. I just don't. They do things scientifically, and they did by numbers. So what? Just
here's
let
our
go.
scientific fact: 4 districts were held in Gloucester County, and
right.
3 of them used to all be in District 29. Kingsway used to be District 29.
Clearview.
Clearview held a district. Gloucester County College.
Yeah.
I know Rowan College
Kingsway,
at Gloucester County,
Kingsway,
and then
Williamstown, and Clearview.
yes, and then the last one was at it was at
Clearview, Kingsway, Williamstown, and Gloucester County College.
Yeah, and there was a growing sentiment last year when you look at Region 6 and how packed it was with the Shore teams that this may have been created to help out the Shore Conference. We don't know if that was the specific purpose for it, but last year they sent, I think, 32 more people to states,
Yeah, we'll keep investing.
and they had 1 extra place winner than they had the year prior. So something to keep an eye on this year.
Well,
when
I don't think that's very fair. There's been times when Region 8 was loaded, and listen, there's going to be good kids that aren't going to go to. Well,
Now you said
the top
4
4 go now. There's going to be good kids that are not going to go to states. Well, they'll get the next year. You know, it happens all the time. There's a lot of people that you see that wrestled in the 80s and be like, I never made the states.
Here's what's going to happen in regions too. Back in the day, you used to have your top wrestlers. Friday night, you lost, you were done. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sorry, you went Wednesday night, seconds and thirds from districts would wrestle, you lost, you're done. Then the top seeds had to bye. They wrestled the winner, there's 2s and 3s. Friday night, you lost, you were done. We never wrestled back when I was in high school. Then you went on, and you had the top 4 wrestling the next day. 3rds and 4s, that's it. That 3rd place, 4th place, that consolation match was a big round. Remember, everyone wanted to get back because
Yeah,
it was a break.
deal.
Everyone wanted to get back to see that, to see who's going to qualify for states. Now it's like, they all qualified, and we're going to wrestle for 7th place. And if that kid can't make weight, that kid, you know, the whole weight class, just be ready. You might be wrestling in the states next week. They should have 100 kids.
People will say, well, there was a lot of 4th place. There was a couple 4th places that placed. Who cares? You know, they wouldn't have placed. I said, they're tough.
Why don't we just have 100 kids in the weight class and go to states?
That's why I saw there's a lot of kids. Like Ralphie, my son wrestles midgets. There's kids rolling around like, just keep with it. You might be the 173.8 pound starter for the Group 11 champs someday.
All right, well, we're going to look at those regions one by one, maybe some notes on each one of them when we come back after this. Stay tuned with On the Mat, presented by the Mat Pack. And then let's start here with Region 1 in West Milford. It looks like 106, here's something, Brett, that I think it's jumped off the bracket to me. Nick Babb and Emerson Park Ridge beat Justin Beer Dunful 2-0 in District 3 finals. They're the top 2 seeds. They can see each other again. 2 pretty good kids.
Yes, 2 pretty good kids, so definitely look for them to see. And Babin's somebody who just came, the big pin against Kale, so he's the one that everyone's going to be gunning for now at states.
Yeah.
Babin's a kid. He was the 4th last year in regions. I don't even think he made it, but and he beat Beer Dunful, and he was 0-5 against Beer Dunful last year. He upped his game. I guess he got bigger. He's cutting a little weight, and he's really turning around. He's a kid that you might have to throw. I mean, people are talking about obviously to be a state champ.
Yeah, and this was a great year for Emerson Park Ridge. They have another kid at 132 in Luke Mazzeo. Really very, very good. Jake Rotunda, we've seen him, Brad. Yeah. You saw him at the Kingsway duels, right, Pope John? What do you make of that matchup?
I think Rotunda is a favorite. He's had some pretty good. He's had a good win this year against. He beat Kim Catholic.
Yeah,
Rapano.
They split.
So they split. So I would say he's a favorite. But Maggio, Emerson Park Ridge, and with Pope John this year, there's 2 really good teams, and they're going to probably meet a few times. Don Bosco's down from what they were,
right.
But Region 1 still has some power. And you were talking about Maggio. His brother's in 113 weight class, where you have Alvarez, who's 2nd in the state. Then you have LaRue from High Point, who's been tough all year.
Yeah, he's tough.
And then Ben Treska's the 2nd seed. And Mazzio's the 4th seed. So that's a pretty good weight class. But, it's I'm not saying it's few and far between. It is.
Yeah, it is nowadays. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Region 2, be it Mount Olive. Obviously, the story here, Ralph, is Bergen Catholic. They had a kid in every final in their district, didn't they?
Yeah, and they 2 lost, and 1 was the number 1 ranked kid in the state. Foca, who lost to O'Malley, who they're going to be. There's a lot of tough kids in weight class, but there's 2 I think are the cream of the crop. So that was a district.
2 kids ranked in the
country.
country.
Ranked in the country, a little further apart than he thought it was. O'Malley, I don't know how the match went, but certainly, I think it was 8-0. I
8-1.
can't see it getting that further apart. Yeah, Bergen
I've
Catholic.
seen matches where Foka gets down because he goes right to that pin.
Yeah.
And that may happen in maybe state finals. He
Yeah.
may lose in the region finals, but Foka may pin him in state finals.
It could remind us of what was it? Stinson and Walsh from Northern Burlington. The Walsh,
Wayne
is that,
Stinson.
yeah, the Walsh is that Ryder now. Beat him
Chad
at Dole,
Walsh,
beat him in
yeah.
district, beat him in region, state finals lost.
And now they're both at Ryder.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing I like about O'Malley from Hasbrook Heights. You look in 2017, last season, at 152, he takes third after losing to Griffith in the semifinals.
That was an overtime match too, I believe.
Yeah, the year before he loses in sudden victory in the state title match to Mackay Lewis, who goes on.
right.
He's two-time
That was
champ.
brilliant.
Yeah.
The kid, great sense of humor. They call him Mickey O'Malley. He came out to Hey Mickey for his district championship.
Where they come out to music? I like that.
Yeah,
Changing it
I
up.
like that too. Maybe
Yeah.
a little extra ambiance. And now with these new regions, maybe they need that.
Yeah,
Get the
need
crowd
something.
juiced up.
Get
Yeah.
some jugglers on the side,
Yeah.
tricycles running.
Bring Manchio back.
Going in circles.
Region 3 is at West Orange. The story here is 3 teams we've talked about all year. Del Barton, Phillipsburg, Hanover Park. Really top heavy, right?
Yep. Peaburg 9 for 9 in the district finals, which is pretty good. And
A bunch of no names, right? No, I'm just
no, well,
Yo,
yeah,
Peaburg,
no,
I
we
got your back.
did learn their names, but and they got Del Barton. So I would say a couple Hanover kids, but Del Barton's lineup is loaded,
Yeah.
and Peaburg's lineup is tough. So you're going to see a lot of Peaburg and Del Barton kids match up.
Hanover Park's got some.
They do.
Got some
Yeah,
good kids.
going there.
They do.
Yeah, they got some tough kids, and I didn't really research it. There's going to be other kids, but that's a tough region. Actually, Brett and I were talking. When we were talking more. You go by teams wise, and I'm a big backer of South Jersey. Region 8 team wise is probably one of the weakest.
Yeah, but individual.
Individuals. There's a lot of studs. You got a state chance, but I guess the best team in the region would be Southern. And you look at the other regions.
And Kingsway's too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get to Region 8 too.
I know. I jumped the gun. I just had to get in region.
Yeah, calm
Sorry,
down.
sweat a little bit.
Region 4 is at Union. 126. Here's the weight class that I'm looking at. Joe Heilman took third last year, 120. South Plainfield senior, 37-0. Looks like Michael Kelly from St. Peter's, who took 8th last year, 132. He beat Heilman last year in the regional final. He's only lost out of state. I mean, that would be a great region final, those
Yes,
two.
that will be, and they're right on the money there. That is a really good region final, and see what happens. I mean, it's a year going from the other match. But Heilman's just been on a tear this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been very good, and that's a family, obviously, that knows success. But
His brother has been a 3-time finalist,
Three-time runner-up.
3-time runner-up, and if Heilman does wrestle well enough to get in the state finals, it looks like it'll probably be 4 silvers for the family.
yeah, could be. I mean, when you look at that weight class, though, it's one that you figure those guys could see each other
It's the
again
run-
in the
yeah.
state bracket,
And it's
right?
the run for second place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26.
Well, 26 has got Pat Glory,
Yep.
and he's the
So
man
it's
this
the run
time of
for-
year.
It's the run for the silver.
They do have the chance of Del Vecchio's brother, who is with the top 220-pounder.
Brother, two-time state
yeah.
champ.
Yeah, South Plainfield, 35-0.
Yeah.
He's the man to beat at 220. 285 also, state favorite, Luis Fernandez of Voorhees. Hasn't lost, 22 pins, 10 forfeits. I think he has 35 wins. There's only 3 that weren't pin or forfeit.
Wow.
He bumped up this year in the middle of the season to go to 85. It seems like it's
We've
his
talked
win.
about that 285 every year. It's tough to predict 285 because you go up at states, and there's always somebody who comes kind of out of woodwork. I mean, there's no one from, there's no more brothers anymore from
from
not
Boston.
Conus.
There is. He's just not a heavyweight. This is Shakonis, a younger one.
Oh, he's a sophomore, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have that like name that's carrying the weight class. So it's wide open. They
No
have
placers.
0 placement
Yeah,
as returning.
I don't know if that's happened in a while. No placers. So it really could be anybody's game. And Fernandez, everyone just anoints him. I mean, he's a pretty tough, athletic kid.
But
the North anoints him. There's
yeah,
some good kids
it's-
down
it's-
south.
Yeah, there are some
we'll
very
get
good.
into that.
Especially Region 8, right?
Region 8's got a stud kid. Good kid. He's as athletic and tough and strong as any of them,
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
He's a good wrestler.
And one thing to touch on here, Region 500 and Central, and obviously they'll have some kids as well. But Joe Casey Boundbrook, he should roll through 152, right?
He should, yes, he should. And 100 Central is another team that they always produce.
Yeah, Hunter
They're
Graff, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and they got the Unger kid.
Yeah, he's good too.
Last year, they're 220-pounds right in the mix. of it,
Lacombe, yeah, he was second.
Yeah, you can never count out 100 and Central. It's always the same candidates. It seems like when we come back after this, we're going to talk about a 138-pounder repeat state champ.
100 Central's coach, WVU, Canagala Ram.
Oh, how about that?
WVU alum.
Country Roads.
Go Mountaineers.
We'll be back after this to talk about Region 6, 7, 8, and maybe some possible state champs from South Jersey. So stay tuned to On the Mat, presented by the Mat Pack. All right, welcome back to On the Mat. We're talking about the region tournaments, and I think Ralph, I think you're trying to make weight.
You know what? If that Mazzio kid from Paulsburg went down from 1360, it's 100 degrees under these lights. However, I didn't have to wear a shirt and tie, but I'm glad they brought that up because as per the NJSI, there is a dress code. Try and be professional. It says no jeans. So
that's right.
Districts and regions coming up. There's a lot of coaches going to the corner with jeans. South Jersey guys, put your Levi's and Wranglers away. North Jersey guys, your Cavaricci's got to go, and them Travel Foxes got to go. Put a shirt and tie. Go to JCPenney's, buy a pair of slacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're representing your school, and it's also in the bylaws. I don't know how it gets. Well, I don't think it's enforced.
I will say this too again, and I'm not, the NJSI picks and chooses what's one to do. You can't have a logo on your hair. Now that's a stupid rule, but they let it get away. You can't have 8th graders practice. Whatever. It's just go over the bylaws. Go over them again and say, pick the
what
ones that
makes
are
sense.
stupid. Yeah. And a lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it.
Yeah, but here's one thing I noticed at the district tournaments and in regions too. Coaches just come out and they kind of just have Under Armour or Nike pullovers, whatever. But for the final, they put on a shirt and tie.
It's not a practice room. There's other rounds.
Sometimes they don't put a shirt and tie on.
But I was talking to Greg Bauer of Seneca about this. He had the shirt and tie the whole time, and he said, "Well, what does it say to the kids in the quarterfinals?
I agree.
That I don't have a shirt and tie on for them."
I know.
Bauer,
look at Paulsburg, look at Phillipsburg. They wear shirt tie and they win.
Yes, all the time. Paulsburg, Phillipsburg, and their kids when they go away. You watch Paulsburg walk in the gym in the regions; they all look like they're going on a business trip.
That's right.
And that's a mindset.
Sure.
Kids should wear shirt and ties, I believe, but if not, definitely your coaches should put a shirt and tie on, even if you're sweating like me in the corner.
Maybe someone should be a fashion
I used to go sweater vest to cover the sweat. But I didn't go sweater vest.
I think you put the sweat in sweater vest. Let's talk about Region 6 at Brick Memorial. Jake Benner at 138, won states last year, was a great story from Ocean Township. He's 32-2. He's back.
He's back, which I was a little surprised he went 138 because I thought, I think Kinner's unbeatable in the state. So Benner, state champ, pulled out that match last year against Angela. I guess, hey, he's going after the top gun. Yeah. Instead of going 145. I guess, some kids are driven to do that.
He has that move, too. He's a big move guy. He's a big, strong kid. Listen, I've seen a lot of upsets. I mean, Kinner's, I think, the best. I think he's the best in the state. I really do.
Yeah.
Pardon the Glory and Ramo and those guys have everything going. But, man, that Kinner is as good as I've seen. And I've been around wrestling a long, long time. But I've seen better kids get beat.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
I've seen not better kids, I'm sorry. Higher favorites get beat.
Well, anybody can get caught, right?
I mean, there was a while in 2005. There was a 12th seed from heavyweight pinned his way through. The number 3 kid in the country was there.
Well, you remember Matt Karenny, 220-pounder at Holy Cross. I mean, he was on his back in the semifinals, ends up getting out of it and winning. Yeah. And it seemed like he's the South Jersey wins record.
And also, too, his junior year, if he moves 1 inch, he gets out of bounds and the match doesn't even go overtime.
And then he got beat by the Cassar kid, who's at Penn State now, who never even qualified for states.
Yeah.
You're not going to follow up on the 2005 12th seed heavyweight? John Price.
Well, yeah.
Beat a college national champion in the semis.
Well, here's the thing. We had hoped to see Benner and Kinner at the Kingsway Duels, but because we only had 7 teams with a late dropout from Delsey, then things switched around. We didn't end up getting to see that. But I have a comment here from Greg Capello who says, Greg Bauer's been wearing a shirt and tie since the 9th grade. Class act. Now,
I can make a comment. Let me make a comment. In 2000, he coached at Gateway. He didn't. He had a denim shirt.
But he had a tie on. Denim shirt with a gaiter there. It was beautiful.
Well, either way.
Denim shirt.
Greg Bauer.
Coaches wore denim shirts.
It was beautiful. They went on sale.
Greg Bauer's done so much for the sport. He even says he's become the coach at Seneca. He's done a lot. He's a Region 7 chair, I believe. He's very active in the sport. But let's talk about his star pupil here at 120. Joe Manchio, Region 7.
Yeah.
Toms River. Joe won states 2 years ago. Last year, he loses to Robert Howard in the semifinals from Byrne Catholic. He lost to Antonio Menino in the regular season from Gateway. Menino beats Howard in the championship. This year, everybody thought Manchio was going to go 113.
Yeah, because he went down late.
Yeah.
Went down late, decided to go up to 120. I talked to him about it last weekend, and he told me, you know, I would rather wrestle those two guys, and I would rather wrestle at the toughest weight class in the state and win it than win a state championship at 113. Ralph, who does this remind you of?
Mark Mancho was his uncle. He did the same thing. Like his freshman year, he lost to Alexander in the finals. He could have won a different weight his sophomore year, and he decided like he was, you know, why win it at the lower weight when I could easily win it? I mean, that is a great mindset. Mancho was only sophomore when he did it, so he had
Mark
he,
Mancho,
yeah. So Joe's doing it. He's forging. You know, I agree with him.
He's locked into college.
He's got locked into college, and he's wrestling as well as anybody. And you know, when it first came out, even when he came back, people were talking Howard Menino rematch, and they just forgot him. And he went down to 13, and then people were.
I mean, he's a couple
I
finishes
would
away from
not.
beating
I
Howard. That
wouldn't
match-
sleep on him. And
Yeah.
he's my. I would be honest with you. I think he's an early pick to win. He's my pick to win. I think he beats them both.
You think he wins 120?
I think he wins 120.
Yeah, I think so. I
to wait
mean,
and see.
he's
Yeah, it's
certainly
a
right
loaded-
there.
I want to wait. I'm going
It
to
is a
wait
loaded
and see.
class.
It's a loaded weight class.
So, if I had to call it right now, I would say Howard. When he's wrestling, beat number one kid in the country, and it seemed like Howard had that way. He was like plateauing a little bit, and all of a sudden he beat a kid from Blair. Wrestled a couple summer tournaments. He was losing a couple of
Yeah.
kids in summer tournaments, but now, I mean, he's on a mission right now.
but those
But
national
Menino-
rankings, which I do, you know, you have to go.
No,
back
but
because
they
go
wrestled
this
each
one.
other. That's the only-
Mancho was rehabbing his knee and everything.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
Seneca can't go into the Iron Man and
No,
stuff like that. But what he can do is he beat that. What's the kid's name from Pope John?
Cement.
Who beat Clark beat
Cement.
by 1-0. Mancho beat him 15-0. And that kid from Cherokee is pretty good. Mancho, he's got some impressive.
Oh, yeah,
Listen,
right there.
Menino is a returning state champion. Howard is the number one kid in the country. But I just feel that Mancho's got on a mission.
Well, let's not lose sight of Menino, who's so tough on top, as strong as he is. I mean, the kid hasn't lost
No.
since
right.
last in 2 years, right? So, or he
Twin
lost to
brother,
Paulsboro
same
last
career
year.
record as him.
Yeah, and also Joe Manchio is a couple wins away from the South Jersey all-time record, which would be 163 if he should do that, which I think everybody thinks he will. Also, from that District 25 tournament at 126, Colin Wick from Cherokee finally got a district title. His freshman year, he was with Manchio. Sophomore year, he was with Lucas Ravano. Last year, he's with Manchio again. This year, he's 26. He gets that district championship. He's happy to see that. Now, he's got Andrew Clark on the other side of his bracket, Region 7 from Collingswood. It's pretty tough.
My pick would be Clark after seeing them wrestle. I just think Clark. That's just my prediction. I think Clark is better on all phases of the mat, on the feet, on top. Look around. He's tough. He's a goer. So
Yeah,
it's going to
funky
be a
guy,
good match.
yeah.
That's just my pick.
What about a 170 here in Region 7? We could have Ethan Kraft to beat Chris Ballatino. Kraft from Rancocas Valley, Ballatino from Haddonfield. They wrestled in the championship at districts. Kraft beat him. Or do you like Brandon Green from Paulsboro? They're in the third seed, Ralph.
I like Green. I seen him wrestle in the Christmas tournament against Ritzma from Howe. Ritzma beat him 3-2. But Green used a lot of energy just to kind of ride him. I think he's athletic. He's you know, granted, Baltino, he's got the experience. And Ethan Kraft coming in as a junior wrestler was as highly ranked as any of them. I just always seen Paulsboro kids when the bigger kids, they're good. Like in the beginning of the year, you would think they were going to be weak at 220, and Demetrius Day is like 25, and I mean he lost to the Lewis kid from Park Ridge,
Rooney family.
like
Yeah.
15 to 12. They just get better. Ethan Kraft is good. I'm just going to go with Green.
Yeah. I would go with Green too. I just think he's a tough kid. I've seen Kraft wrestle. I've seen Valentina wrestle a few times. I'm just going to go with Green too because I just think he'll pull it out. I think we went over too. Paulsboro could have 4 champs, maybe, possibly. Things fall right. I mean, really right. Could have 6, but
Big Daddy Ross is Highland 83 had 6 regions. He always gets worried that they're going to break them.
12 weight class.
12 weight class, and that team was ridiculous. But they had 6 region champs. It's still South Jersey record.
Well, here's 195 is the other weight class I want to touch on. Jason Peralta last week from Cherry Hill West. He takes it in District 26, I believe it is, with Paulsboro. He beat TJ Frandon. That's the third time they wrestled. We talked earlier about familiarity. They would match up in the second round of regions if they were to see each other. Peralta definitely is somebody to watch. And heavyweight, Mercado of Camden, Lamar Price of Sterling, That's not too bad of a final if that's what plays out. The 1 and 2 seeds there.
Kid from Plymouth, the third seed.
Yeah,
Pretty
he's
tough.
a big athletic
Yeah,
kid,
Vivian,
too.
yeah.
And then the Cherry Hill West kid. I like Mercado. He was pretty athletic last year. He's an athletic kid. He's a little, he's been there, and I just like Mercado to
He was
win.
a round
that
away
region.
from placing last year.
Yeah, he
Sterling
pinned
kid-
Price last year.
Yeah, the Sterling kid is tougher, and but I just think that Mercado's a little bit more savvy.
I think both of them can make some noise in states.
And
I'm going to say, can I say something about Mercado? Me and Mr. Fetty Brett was talking about tonight. Mercado goes to school at Camden County Road Tech, Pennsauken Tech campus with Mr. Fetty's the principal.
Correct.
He wrestles for Camden. He plays football for Woodrow Wilson, which is second team All-State, and plays baseball for Penn Tech.
Yeah.
Pretty. I don't
Tornado.
think that's ever happened.
Tornado
Twice
baseball.
tornado. So there's one kid, three different teams.
A man of many hats.
So,
Mr. Mercado.
that's why he's going to win regions.
I think both of them.
He's used to different environments.
Yeah, and I think both of them can end up making some noise in states with Price, Mercado, even the Vivian kid. Should he get through Palmyra, heavyweight in
tough.
South Jersey always has some guys. We're gonna
Sometimes even up at state, it's who falls on who.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and there's a lot of nip and tuck. There's a lot of coaching involved in
Take
those.
that- I'll take that
Walking
good win,
kids
'cause
through those matches.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about Region 8. This will be where I think all three of us will be there at Egg Harbor Township this weekend. Is that right, gentlemen?
I'll be in attendance. I
Yes, I will be there.
Okay, so we got the drive down, Chicky Pete's right around the
Yeah.
corner. 152, David McCullough, okay, of Clearview. This kid won the Outstanding Wrestler of District 30. He's 19-1. He battled a late injury to his leg, got back into shape.
Doctor's appointment came up, just popped up. He got in earlier than he thought, and he healed earlier.
Yeah.
What now? He's in there with Cody Wolf, right?
Yes.
Of Woodstown. You saw Wolf and Nicholas O'Connell of Southern.
Yeah, what a great match.
That went to what? 12-10 sudden victory.
Overtime. Yep.
Overtime.
Yep,
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you like? McCullough, Wolf, O'Connell. Who do you like there, Ralph?
I think that O'Connell losing actually got a better seed because he got the second seed. Wolf got the top seed because he beat him. Wolf O'Connell was taking it to him, and then Wolf kind of
5 point
kind of scored some points, and then O'Connell kept coming back, taking him down. Going into overtime, I thought O'Connell was going to win. O'Connell got in on a deep shot, and Wolf just did like a funk roll on him. I haven't seen McCullough since he was a 20-pounder or a 13-pounder back for Clearview.
He was hurt last year.
Yeah,
Also.
Wolf's a tough kid. Who do I like in the weight class? I like O'Connell.
O'Connell too. I like O'Connell too. 8th place in the state last year.
Yeah.
I think maybe this was kind of like can't wrestle that match, can't get through for 5, and then play catch up. But I mean, I would say Wolf. I would say O'Connell too would be my choice there.
Yeah, and McCullough ends up pinning Wayne Scott of Pennsgrove
Right.
in
Yeah,
that bracket.
down.
But he was down 3-1, so maybe keep an eye out for Wayne Scott.
You got to see the records. And the kid from Mainland's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I know they said the Pennsgrove match. I was talking to Odell Cleveland, and Odell said,
Odell.
his kid he was unfortunate, but his kid was right there with McCullough.
Yeah, so something to watch there, 152. Let's skip to heavyweight, and then we'll come back and revisit something we want to talk about at 195. Heavyweight, Cody Wood, Deshaun Alexander of Overbrook, Jefferson Dejan of EHT, Bryce Dunn of Cumberland, Demetrius Pally of Holy Spirit. You guys are very familiar with Cody Wood. He's the top seed. What does he bring to the table?
Cody Wood is a wrestler. He can wrestle on his feet. He shoots, sometimes too much. But he's he's like a 52-pounder wrestling heavyweight. He's got some size to him, more than last year. So I think he's going to be able to handle most of the kids that he's going to have. And I think here it's him against Bryce Dunn in the finals. He beats Bryce Dunn for the 3rd time, I think, and gets his region title. And I think he goes on places in the States.
I like Cody. Exactly what Brett said. He's a wrestler. I think maybe we did him a disservice last year because we had to have him stay below 220 because we would weigh him and Ryan McFarland at 220 and Cody would try and get on a tougher kid. I think he's a little bigger this year. Doesn't have to worry about that. He's not going to get turned, and he can ride people, so he can win 1-0. He's good on his feet. Yeah. I really like Cody to even I like him to beat the Cumberland kid, and I even like him to step one top. I think he's going to be there Saturday morning in the semis, in upstates. So. He's just got to know, and I'm telling you this, Cody, in case you're watching, you're just as good as everyone. Don't be afraid, and let him know that you're just as good as everyone. I'm a little biased, so I'm rooting for Cody.
Well, let's hope you're not doing him a disservice this year, Ralph.
Yeah, I'm not.
Hopefully he sees it, gets motivated. Cody Wood
Stay
brings
away
the
from
region
it.
title
Yeah,
back
bad
to
luck.
Pennsville.
I'm bad luck for him.
195. Last weekend we had a big final there in District 32, I believe it was. Brian Martin beats Sean Lynch. Brian Martin, we touched on him earlier in the year. This kid did not wrestle the last 2 years in the postseason. He's undefeated. He looks like he might be the kid to beat in the entire state.
He's a favorite right now. He beat everyone. He Westerfeld, who was a runner-up last year, here to beat him. So if he makes out his weight class, which I'm predicting him to win, he's going to be a top seed in the state.
What I like about him, Ralph, is that at 195 in Region 8, he's probably going to have to see Lynch again, maybe. Tommy Maxwell, Delsey, who's very good.
It's a loaded weight
Kevon
class.
Berry's very athletic.
Loaded weight class.
Austin Kaminsky, who's good for Middle Township. That, having not wrestled in the postseason the last couple years, this is like a simulation of what he's going to see at the state, right? This is about as loaded as it gets.
Right, I do believe that this region, him having this region load is going to help him in states, because obviously the kid from Scott's, Plainwood, where he's from, has been there. He was in the finals last year. And you know what? It's a different tournament up there. Like you get up there and you see like 10,000 people.
The environment captures you, and you got to be ready to step on the mat.
As a coach, like if he's 195 and say Smith or someone doesn't make it up there, you got to know that wrestling starts at 9. You don't have to get there till 12.
Keep your
them
normal
outside on the
routine
boardwalk.
for warming up.
Get a room. And some people don't get, like they traveled. Can't understand that. Like they go down 6 o'clock in the morning, but the kid is tough. I was talking to Danny Calhoun, who was assistant coach at Ocean City this year, and he's friends with Johnny Jernigan because he coached with Williamstown. He said the kid just works harder than anyone he's had. And at 195, if you can go, because like even when he wrestled Starks, big match, he kept coming.
Throw him twice.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where this kid's got it.
Yeah.
He has it. He's strong, he's quick, he's athletic, and you threw Starks twice on your back, on his back, and you haven't wrestled really a full season since your freshman year. To be able to do that, I mean, like you said, I think he'll be able to do it again. I think he'll be at regions. States is a different story.
Yeah.
Kids get different matchups, and you don't know who you're going to get upstate.
Right.
So it's about, one, getting the kid ready as a coach, two, having a game plan.
Right.
Because kids will go out there and they don't know who to wrestle. Kid comes in, kid's got a lateral dropper, kid just good on top, you're going to put him down. You should know as much as if you're a coach, you should know as much as you can about your
And wear a tie.
opponents.
Yeah,
And have a tie.
Definitely wear a tie.
One thing I will say too that's different, and I would always have my assistants do this. You have to scout wrestlers too.
Yeah.
You got to scout refs. Refs ref a lot different somewhere. People will call stalling earlier, and it's different. So you got to know, hey, this guy's going to bang you on top, or you can ride. You got to have body language, run back to the middle, and sometimes, you just got to know the atmosphere. So I think Johnny Jernigan's as good a coach there, and I think obviously he got better. And Williamstown's had a tough middle school team. They got some good kids. They got the Masita kid who went to St. Augustine. Schwab's a Williamstown resident. They have good 8th graders. So I got to believe that this kid's not going to let the atmosphere get to him.
Yeah, and you look at their kids through the years, they've just matured, they've gotten better. You can't say that for all programs. Shimon Smith has gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
He's an elite wrestler in South Jersey.
He's a
Nick
favorite
DeRosa
now.
has gotten better.
Yes.
And this Martin kid has gotten better. And I would say one thing. At this point in the year, sometimes a kid like Martin might look around and say, I'm at the top. How did I get here? That kid is not tentative. He goes out on the mat, and he goes out to attack, score, pin, demolish. Brian Martin's been the most impressive, maybe the most impressive wrestler outside of Kinner, Ravano, Manchio that I've seen this season in South Jersey.
For him to have the opportunity to beat those kids, he beat 3 state place winners this year.
Yeah.
Even I guess Kinner is the big name, and he's as sure chances we have a state title.
Yeah.
When you're looking at Menino, who's a returning, and Manchester state champs. We just talked about how they may or may not win. Janzer's a returning state champ. He may or may not. We're talking about a kid who didn't wrestle for 2 years, and now we're looking at him as being one of our better shots. I say ours in South Jersey, but he also could work to his favor. Like, he hasn't wrestled in all these tournaments since he's been 5 years old, and he doesn't have all that pressure. He just goes out and be like, listen, I didn't have to go to all these places, and boom, he lets it ride.
And the weight class, it's tough. It is. But, he's beating those kids.
Right.
And the thing is, I just thought maybe McKenzie would go up to 95 and wrestle 95, because if he beats Cardenas in a wrestle-off, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take 95, you're going to take 182. I'm just saying if he wants best chance of winning a state title, because Janzer is returning state champion back at 82, I think, and it's going to be, him, I think Janzer's favorite, and then you're going to have Santino Marina, and you're going to have McKenzie. Whereas now, if McKenzie would have went up to 95, he could have been a favorite there.
Yeah, 82 is going to...
Cardenas there, too, but Cardenas isn't as big.
Right.
And he's given up a lot of weight, but he's not as big as those kids. So
82 is going to be fun to watch at States.
Oh,
too.
yes, it will be, definitely.
It's at 95 and 82 now because of his decision to stay at 82 with McKenzie. Now,
I think that too. Yeah, I agree. I also think that the kid from St. Augustine, he's a freshman. He's not going. We're not talking about him winning it, but he's going to beat some kids up there. And the kid from Rancocas Valley, Boker,
absolutely.
They're going to win some matches.
He's got the pedigree, certainly.
Sure.
His cousin Sean, I believe, plays last year, and has been there as well. Before I go any further here, the one thing I want to say is make sure everybody here on Monday at 7 p.m., if you like basketball, watch 3 in the Key with Richie Blyweiss. Thursday at 7 p.m., watch In the Paint with Nikki Jones. You can always listen to this podcast online, and you can go to the SFBN for any type of archived video, podcast links, anything you need in terms of stories about Pennsylvania basketball, New Jersey wrestling, anything you need from that. Be sure to do that at thesfbn.com. Ralph, parting shots as we get ready here for regions. And next week we will go through each weight class at states.
Yes, we will.
Make some picks. Say what we got to do.
Couple of things I want to say. One, I want to say congratulations to one of my former wrestlers, Charlie Huff, who was assistant coach of the year at Highland. It was like my Parcells coaching tree. Hopefully, I would like to say congratulations to him. And two, somebody's got to sit down with the NJSA. Maybe us three will go up there with Larry and be like, listen, Larry, here's how the way it's got to be. We don't need the National Federation's money. It's not working.
We want to do what's best for kids.
We do want to do what's best for kids
How we
and
operate.
the sport.
and fans.
I just think, listen, the districts,
That'll take care of itself.
the redistricting and re-regions, swing and a miss, Larry, or NJSIA. Let's try and figure it out next year.
And then we'll work that into getting rid of 5 groups, because then you're just, it's like,
Yeah,
let's
but-
have
yeah.
100 kids, 100 groups, and
Nope.
all win.
I want my kid to be on the starting group 11 champ team when he's in high school.
Well, I'm going to send you up to Robbinsville to talk to NJSIA, but
Been
until
there.
then,
I know how to get there. I've been there.
you know how to get there. Until then, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Mark Trible, the Courier Post, signing off for Brett Fetty, Ralph Ross Jr. We'll be back next week to break down states. And until then, get out to the regions and enjoy the great wrestling you'll see this weekend.
Put those
Thanks.
slacks on, Coach, and shirt and tie.
Take notes if you're at the other regions. I want to know what the coaches are wearing.
Yes.
Shirts and ties. Thanks for watching.